Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if I could have you all please stand and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
On MLSsoccer.com, ColoradoRapids.com and SportingKC.com. As you can see, the formalities almost over in front of a Sporting KC, walking along in front of the match officials and the Colorado Rapids. It's the opening game at Keno North Stadium, Tucson, Arizona. Sporting KC tonight up against the Rapids in what is the opening game of the 6-team tournament. Richard Fleming alongside Greg Cotton. And Greg, I was talking to Peter Vermees last night. He is saying this is a side, and I imagine similar to the Rapids, at around 60%. We're going to see two sides from each side tonight. How far advanced is Sporting KC?
You know, they're a little further along, I think, than I think Peter initially thought. You know, we do have a lot of turnover this year, as Colorado has had, and some key departures, some key acquisitions, but the players seem to be melding together a little quicker than Peter, I think, anticipated. So we'll see two squads today, all of which have a chance and will likely make this squad, and a lot of new faces.
Well, we'll take you through the two starting lineups, starting with Sporting Kansas City. And do chip in, Greg, with any little nuggets, because I know there are a number of changes for both squads, as you say, both clubs. So starting in goal, and we're going to have a complete change around at half-time for both sides. So just to give you a heads up on that, Valdemiro Toledo is the referee tonight. Luis Marin is in goal. Kevin Ellis, Jalil Anibaba, Matt Biza and Marcel De Jong are the back four. Looks like it's a 4-3-3 tonight for Sporting KC. Roger Espinoza, James Marceline and Paulo Nagamura along the middle. Jacob Peterson, Dom Dwyer, Connor Hallisey out of the draft up top. That is, we look at the players to come on second half, and we'll not reveal too much yet, but this depth there's a real attacking Sporting KC essence in it.
It really did. It's complemented with the addition, obviously, of Roger Espinoza that adds some box-to-box capacity that we may not have had over the past couple of years. I think you'll see James Marceline drop a little deeper right in front of the back four and look to play quickly out of the back. He's going to be a great addition.
Well, we are underway here in Tucson, Arizona. The Rapids will start in a 4-2-3-1. Zach McMath in goal, the back four of Wes Knight, Bobby Burling, Axel Schoberg and Michael Harrington. The holding midfield players are Lucas Pitanari and the man wearing the captain's armband tonight, Marcelo Savas. The three in front, right to left, Vicente Sanchez, Gabriel Torres, Carlos Alvarez, and then up top is Dom Baggi. There will be plenty of changes, I can tell you. There's an early call there for the referee. Dom Baggi going in a little heavy, I think it's fair to say, on Kevin Ellis. Ellis is a seasoned pro. We'll note that one. I think both coaches fully aware that these are two sides that are just itching to play quote-unquote competitive soccer. They've been held back and held back, almost like caged lions up to now.
I think that's a fair point. And you'll see a lot of playing out of the back. You're going to see a lot of kind of hard challenges, I think. Even though it is preseason, these are two teams that know each other very well. Some players that have played for both sides. Michael Harrington comes to mind. And so I think there won't be any love lost, but hopefully we'll have a good, solid, clean game and get these fans some entertainment.
Jacob Peterson as well. He's played
right
for the Rapids, came out of the draft for the Rapids back in 2006. Spent 4 years in Colorado, now wearing the colours of Sporting KC. In the starting 11 tonight, there's Ellis on this near side, looking for the run to be made. Back to Anibaba, just stroked along the back four. Just sizing each other up at the moment, and it's not just the opposition, it's teammates, it's chemistry, it's your own physicality. Imagine, Greg, how far can you go? How much can you push yourself as a player? Where are you in pre-season as opposed to the teammates around you?
Fitness is obviously front of mind for anybody that follows American soccer right now. It seems to be the buzzword both at the national level and at the club level. It is one of those things that Coach Vermees prides himself on with his staff in making sure that these players are game fit, not only in August when it really counts, but at the start of the season. So there's been some fitness issues, just like there always are, but I think generally the players have come back in very good condition, including the new guys.
I think that's also fails to take into account, and we know that the conversations that have been had at national level, it's such a difficult league. The travel that's involved, the climate, the different playing surfaces, playing conditions, you have got to be fit. I think that's a little misnomer there.
Not to mention the travel. I mean, the travel and, like you say, the surfaces, very, very different. Different than most other leagues when you have to travel 7 hours for a match. It can be very challenging fitness-wise, both mentally and physically.
Absolutely. Early stages of this one, no score, approaching the 4th minute. That one just nudged out of play, under pressure there from Gabriel Torres. We're going to see a little bit of that, just passes half a yard going astray as these two sides look to try and click. I know there's a further 3 games for both of these sides. Saturday, then next Wednesday, and then the following Saturday, February 28th. It all wraps up here in Tucson. And then just a week away from the opening weekend of the regular season 2015 is quite literally just around the corner. It's a free kick, though, for the Rapids. A few shadows you can see, beautiful sunshine, a gorgeous day here in Arizona. Sanchez with the free kick. Failed to beat the first man. He'll have another go. Sticking well. It's Hallisey. Savas. And that one is Don Badgie heading wide, and a corner kick given. Mr. Toledo pointing in the direction of the corner. So Marcelo Savas, MLS Cup winner 2 times over with LA Galaxy, strides across to take this corner kick.
And here I think you're going to see Luis Marin and really what he brings to this team. Hopefully an upgrade over last year. In training, he comes for the ball very, very hard. Not necessarily getting an opportunity on that occasion.
Wes Knight putting that one out of play over on the far side. Wes Knight, who is a trialist for the Rapids, has had time in Major League Soccer with Vancouver Whitecaps. Joined them in 2010, was with them for their first season in MLS. Most recently at FC Edmonton. But I know he's impressed coaches. A tough tackling right back at 28 years of age. A little bit of a different mindset as well, as opposed to these 21, 22-year-old rookies that are coming in. He's a 28-year-old that is really looking to stamp his mark and get another chance in Major League Soccer. Harrington with the throw, back to Marcelo. Crossfield into the sunshine, bit of a squint there for Wes Knight. Checks, it's going to be forced back.
Good pressure from Hallisey there.
Beasler, commanding figure to Dom Dwyer. A lovely conversation with Dom Dwyer yesterday. Badgie, that one just slips through. and he's got some speed, and he's not afraid to shoot. That one seemed to do all the hard work and didn't quite connect. Mistake in midfield. Sorry, Greg.
No, that's okay. Marceline has to do better there. He looked slow, didn't come for the ball. Needs to step up there and do a better job.
Marine just looking for his players to make a bit of space. De Jong just making the run short. Popped over the top of him, in fact. Header on. Well cut out there by Bobby Burling. To this near side. Decent ball in. That's going to give McMath some work to do. He clutches that just out of the way of Dom Dwyer. Yeah, Dom Dwyer is from a little village in West Sussex, Cookfield. It's a place that I know well in the south of England. We were just chatting yesterday. He was coming off the training field.
What type of a place is Cookfield?
It is, well, I imagine a couple of hundred years ago it would have been known as a hamlet.
Hamlet. It's a good word.
It's which is smaller than a village, and villages in England are a lot smaller than villages in this part of the world. It's a very quaint English village in a lovely part of the country. So we had a good chat. It's exciting times for Dom Dwyer. Fantastic 2014 for him. Things just seem to get better and better on and off the field.
Happily married man now?
Yes. Wonderful news. It'd be fair to say the Posh and Becks of Major League Soccer. I mean, maybe we don't go down that road.
Probably best not to, although I'm sure Dom would love the comparison.
So Zach McMath clears downfield. Joined this season on a season-long loan from Philadelphia Union. First up for the Rapids, March 7th away at the Union. It's a home game for Sporting KC. It's March 8th against New York Red Bulls. That'll be a third successive game against the Red Bulls, wasn't it? Last game of the regular season.
That's right.
Then the playoffs. First game of 2015.
Be glad to see the back of them, to be honest with you.
But the changes, it just all makes for a very exciting start of 20th season. And I'm intrigued to get from somebody within inside Sporting Kansas City, coming back to the West.
Right. I remember back when we started doing this back in 2006, we had a choice to make. We had a choice to either stay in the West or move to the East. I remember sitting at a conference table with Rob Heineman and Peter Vermees making this decision. Decision was made to move to the East, and then now we're moving back to the West, obviously, where there is a absolute load of talent and a lot of money being spent. Not that there isn't in the East this year as well, but the West has traditionally been stronger over the past 3 or 4 years, so we need to step up our game, and I think it's when we're talking about travel, it's one of those things that our players will have to embrace. Fall on the shoulders of our leaders to make sure that transition works.
I think it's fair to say in the 20th season, with 20 teams and the 2 new teams joining the East, be hard pushed to determine which is the toughest of the conferences now, East or West. It is a strong league all round. Into the 10th minute, no score. The best of the early chances falling the way of the Rapids, in fact. Don Badgie making the most of an error in midfield. A free kick going the way of Sporting Kansas City there. A little tug from Axel Sjoberg. At 6'7".
That'll be an interesting matchup to keep an eye on as this half goes on. Sjoberg and Dwyer, they've had a little confrontation early, maybe in the 2nd minute, and that one might get a little chippy between those two.
It's not often that tall defenders like playing against smaller attacking players, because they just buzz around. Dom Dwyer is a busy, intelligent player. He'll make darting runs. I know, having spoken to some young defenders, Shane O'Neill being one of them, he's on the bench, due to come on at half-time. As that one sails over the top of the crossbar. That is, in fact, Sporting Kansas City's training field behind that goal, and Colorado Rapids is right next door.
Right.
And Shane O'Neill was telling me, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of the young defenders, that when they're starting out, Axel Sjoberg will be a classic case tonight. It's the mental side of the game. It's the thinking, particularly if you're up against clever, intelligent strikers, and Dom Dwyer is one of those.
Well, I've been watching him, Joe Berg. He's quicker than I anticipated. I've never seen him play before, but he has a first step that's pretty impressive for a man of his size. And, Dom will play some mind games with him. This is good experience for the young defender.
6'7". Alongside him is Bobby Burling at 6'5". Torres. Pitanari.
Luckily, Dom has a 48-inch vertical. I think he'll be all right.
He's got a few tricks up his sleeve as Dom Dwyer recall the sensational winning goal at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Torres onside, and he's found the back of the net. Gabriel Torres making the darting run. The cross goal, and he's opened the scoring 12 minutes in. The Rapids have got their noses in front.
Lovely through ball there. Espinoza ran into the official and stopped, unfortunately, allowing that through ball to be played. Nice finish, though. Beautiful finish with the outside of the foot.
I know Gabriel Torres has struggled. Not had the run in the side that he would like. And that'll give him a bit of confidence. There's a replay there. Gabriel Torres just sneaking the ball past Luis Marin, opening the scoring for Colorado. The first goal of the Desert Diamond Cup 2015. Joining us on MLSsoccer.com, SportingKC.com and ColoradoRapids.com as well. 3 more games for these two sides to come.
Now, is this one admission price for all of these games? If so, that is a remarkable deal. If you live in Tucson, you need to be out here.
Top quality. Some big names on show as well. So next up for Sporting Kansas City, a big game for them on Saturday against Seattle Sounders. That's the late game. 8 p.m. local time. It's at 9 p.m. Central time. The Sounders play in the late game tonight against FC Tucson. For the Rapids, their next game against New England Revolution. They'll be kicking off shortly in the at a neighboring stadium against Real Salt Lake. That's a 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time.
Look at the run by Espinoza. Beautiful run up the middle. Ball has to be played earlier.
It's going to just roll out of play, getting away.
Had an opportunity to talk to Claudio Lopez yesterday, who obviously played for us, was a designated player for us way back in the day, back in 2008, I believe it was his first season. And I remember his first game, just watching that that run by Espinoza. He made a beautiful diagonal run off the ball at Community America Ballpark, where we were playing at the time. And nobody saw him, nobody passed him the ball. And unfortunately, it was the last time he did it, I think, in 2 years. So it's important for the players to get their head up, to have the vision to be able to see those runs of the more experienced players coming out the back or out in the field.
Yeah, and normally the experienced players are not shy in letting the younger players know that they've made the run. .15 minutes gone in the first half. The Rapids leading by 1-0 against Sporting KC. That goal scored by Gabriel Torres on 12 minutes. Harrington looking for the return. In fact, it's dropped to Torres, who's in an offside position.
Michael Harrington, a great pickup for the Rapids. Really experienced left back. It was a great servant for us while he was with the Kansas City Wizards and then Sporting Kansas City.
6 seasons with you guys.
Top quality guy, top quality back. He started out as a left wing for us and then moved naturally back to the left back position, which I think he preferred from the beginning.
He's got a lovely first touch. There's competition now for the Rapids in that position. Mark Birch. Lovely interplay. Sporting KC. Ellis on this near side. Crossfield. There's opportunities further out to that left-hand side. Not spotted
bad ball
again.
by Marceline.
Exactly what you were talking about earlier, Greg. And just take a look up and look outside, and there's players making a run. It's maybe getting caught in that little field, that narrow field of vision. Marceline, this rangy run that he's got. Marcelo gets across.
Just needs to play the ball simply. He's trying to do too much with it. It looks like he's has a little first game nerves, or first game, I guess, of this series nerves. He's a solid player. He'll step it up.
Beasler looking for Dwyer. That was cut out by Pitanari. Sanchez has stayed on side. Here's another chance. The keeper came. Sanchez has got Badgie. Open goal. Easy as you do it. 17 minutes gone. Sanchez to Badgie, and the Rapids are 2 up. That was a quick break. But again, Greg, it came at a time when Sporting KC looked as if they were the ones on the offensive.
Absolutely. A lot of heads down out there right now. Not liking what I'm seeing right now. It was a lovely ball over the top. This was our Achilles heel last year, which was just not getting back quickly enough from the center back position. And when you have experienced center back like Matt Beasler, just needs to find his partnership with Annie Baba and make sure that they communicate, and that type of ball over the top doesn't happen. But teams know that we're susceptible to it. So until we prove that we're not, they're going to continue to do it.
It's all about percentages. That was just a fraction away from finding Dom Dwyer, intercepted by Pitanari. And all of a sudden it was 2 on 2. Still very much early stages, and it's intriguing. I spoke to Pablo Mastroeni yesterday, the Rapids head coach, and I said, look, chopping and changing, both sides are going to be playing different players, different formations, trying things out, but the result still matters. Oh yeah, oh yes, oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So because I think now there's additional importance psychologically, now these two sides are back in the West together. It's a pre-season friendly, but there's just a little that they can discover about each other in these games. There's nothing that is forgotten from these encounters.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, that's why the coaching staff doesn't love to play these conference opponents in these pre-season friendlies. And a lot of teams are starting to go to South America and Europe and Mexico and places like that in order to play them. Because there are not, you don't do wholesale changes to your tactics, and you don't do wholesale changes to the way you play. You're seeing, I think, like you said before, Richard, you're seeing 60% of these teams, maybe 70, 80% of the tactics.
A free kick given away by Burling. There's a chance here for Dwyer. Didn't quite connect, but it goes out for a corner kick. Deflection that takes that one wide. Sporting KC looking to react. Perfect soccer conditions. Drilled in low. Dwyer.
A little something from the training ground. I hadn't seen that one before.
The Rapids player down. A huge scrum and a scramble of players emerging from the box on that occasion.
Fans of all ages, make sure to try out the FC Tucson soccer cage 2v2 arena located behind the south goal.
Approaching the midway point of this first half, the 2015 Desert Diamond Cup. The first game, Colorado Rapids against Sporting Kansas City. A goal from Gabriel Torres, another from Dom Badgie. That's the difference between these two teams at the moment. And you could see as soon as that second goal went in, Greg, that the bench, the Sporting KC bench, to a man got up and just started jogging. I mean, that's just an indicator to those on the field that the coaching staff are not happy with what they're seeing.
No, not pleased at all, and they shouldn't be. We have a lot of big veteran presence out there on the field, and even though it's preseason, you want to compete. And Sporting has not done a great job of competing today.
Still a long way to go in terms of this game, and in terms of the tournament, and in terms of pre-season. One's floated towards the back post. Marceline trying to bring it under control. Harrington is not coming down. Marceline trying to wrestle back the initiative. Marcelo twists and turns. Back to McMath.
So calm on the ball.
he's got a calming influence as well. It's the Brazilian. Back to Marine, who's, let's be fair, Greg, he's not had a great deal to do. He's not had saves to make. He did well to narrow the angle with that early chance from Badji, but
I think there'll be some questions about whether he came too soon for that second. It looked like he was actually trying to draw a red card. I have to see the replay, but he was hung out to dry. He didn't really have a whole lot, as you say, to do.
Peterson back to that one. Well, Badji making himself a bit of a nuisance here. Marcelo to Sanchez. To 30-somethings on the rapid side, to some younger players. Pitanari at 22, Sjoberg. The referee wanting to have a few words, I think. The assistant on this near side made the indication. As the assistant on this near side just tapped his top pocket, indicating to the referee that he felt a card was deserving. Dom Dwyer's gone in the book.
This started in the second minute. You could see those two are not going to be on each other's Christmas card list from the very beginning of this. And I think Dom's getting frustrated. Lack of service. Hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities, and when he did, execute on that one ball.
It's a big physical ask for him as well. It's not Burling, it's Axel Sjoberg.
Well, Dom's not going to back down from anyone. He really is a bulldog. Peter said it when he drafted him, and it's been true since the day he was on our club. You know exactly what you're going to get from Dom Dwyer, and we have a couple guys like that. Jacob Peterson, you know exactly what you're going to get. Roger Espinoza. It's early days. It'll come together. It's just right now the pieces aren't necessarily fitting.
I also don't think there's any perfect solution either. As we look here, the players just stopped. Matt Beasley collecting the ball. As Gabriel Torres has gone down in the middle.
Paulo may have caught him a little bit.
So looking on now to the left there as we're watching Carlos Alvarez and Marcelo Savas. But Gabriel Torres is now just skipping over to the far side, get some treatment. Doesn't look too serious, maybe just a little nick on the foot. And I've said it before, the problem is these days, Greg, the boots are so thin now, they're so light that any kind of contact can be
That's absolutely right.
Smart a little bit.
We've seen so many of these fifth metatarsal injuries, and you wonder if it's the boot thinness has something to do with it. But they are light, and man, they can strike the ball beautifully with them. But there is a trade-off, there's no doubt.
Badji. A little late there, and the referee's going to reach for his pocket once again.
Paulo Nagamura is going to be a critical player for us this year. You know, he was, I think, arguably the most important player on the field in our championship run of 2013. Took a step back last year, doing no other part than injuries, which has always been, unfortunately, something that Paulo's had to deal with. But a healthy Paulo Nagamura that can play 30 games for Sporting Kansas City is a difference maker for us. And Peter has challenged him to step it up even more than his normally high level.
Well, fantastically experienced, 14th, should I say 11th season in Major League Soccer. MLS Cup winner, I believe Lamar Hunt, US Open Cup winner in his first season in 2005. That was as they were then Los Angeles Galaxy. Badji is being led to this near side as we look at Ellis and Alvarez. And Nagamura goes into the book. And you want that edge, you want that fire in the belly. It's just been frustrating as Burling gifts that one away to Marceline. Badji's ready and waiting to come on. 26 minutes gone. The Rapids leading Sporting Kansas City by 2-0.
Another great run out of the midfield by Nagamura. Just unable to get him the ball, but he created space for Ellis on the side. Attack broke down.
Badgie's back on, back up to the full quota for the Rapids. Harrington to Torres, who I think momentarily went up top. With Badgie off injured. There's no quarter given there. Nagamura with the free kick.
And this is what James Marceline needs to do to get back into this game. Is just play the ball simply, just like he did. Win those 50-50 or 40-60 balls. He can be a very impactful player for this club and in this league if he does exactly that.
Good ball through. Looking for Peterson. Just not quite the angle through to McMartin. The Rapids can break once again. Or should I say bring the ball away. Harrington finds Torres. Scorer of the first goal. Marcelo Savas to Burling, who's come home in a sense for the Rapids, a Colorado boy. Grew up watching the Rapids when they played at Mile High.
Good old days, huh?
Absolutely. He enjoys telling the former players, now part of the club and part of TV, and he used to watch them as a youngster just to make them feel old. A free kick that'll come back. Free kick to Sporting Kansas City. Have a look at the Rapids bench there. Deshaun Brown near side, Clint Owen, Marlon Hairston, Grant van der Castile and Nick LeBrock are in there as well. There will be a lot of changes, not just at half-time. There's certainly at least 2 changes for the Rapids that they will make during the second half. Ellis coming inside. Almost charged down. Sanchez to Badgie. Takes it under control nicely. He's looked very, very impressive as Don Badgie. Torres. Marcelo. Alvarez making the run. Torres making the run as well. First time. Easily picked out by Beasler. Peterson couldn't quite connect with that one. A little bit rash there from Marcelo Savas, and he's going to go in the book as well. Well, if this is pre-season, when do the 2 sides meet in the regular?
Great point.
I think 3 times this season. Twice at Sporting Park, once at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. The Rapids have got their home opener March 7th. Sorry, first game on March 7th, home opener March 21st. That is against NYCFC. Go to coloradorapids.com for ticket details. David Villa. Next Discaroo. Exciting players. Just keeps building, doesn't it, in Major League Soccer? That'll be at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, March 21st. Sporting Kansas City open on March 8th.
Which is good because Kansas City on March 8th will be 72 degrees and sunny, which all too soon. Either that or 3 inches of snow on the ground, one of the two.
The Rapids had a few of those at the start of last season, a few early season games. In fact, I think the Rapids against Sporting KC, that 3-2 win for Sporting KC. They trailed twice. Dom Dwyer with that late winner from the angle. It was a bitterly cold day as well, if I recall. I was sat in the booth and after about 10 minutes couldn't feel most of the digits on my feet.
I think that was my favorite finish Dom has ever had. It was an absolute stunning strike from a narrow angle. He just turned around and walked back away. I thought it was a classy strike, classy finish.
Ellis with the free kick drilled in low. Not fully cleared by the Rapids. Comes away now. Ellis just pops one up.
De Jong's been having a quietly decent game there on the left side. Showed some nice closing speed a couple of times. Shown some tendency to get forward.
I'll see outside him. It's Just the two jerseys in the middle, not quite the communication there. Some big bodies as well in the middle as well. So you've just got to be very selective as to the type of ball you put in. A high ball, you would imagine all day is going to be either Burling or Sjoberg. It's those darting runs towards the near post or peeling away. Just squeezing, as the Rapids were doing there, just squeezing that final third. And Sporting KC ran out of space.
Need some more driven crosses. The lofted crosses I think you've seen are not effective. I'm sure Coach Vermees has told him exactly that. Trying to build up play from 30 yards out instead of driving down to the byline and getting crossed off would be important if we're going to get back into this game. If Sporting Kansas City is going to get back into this game.
Ellis with the throw then on this near side. Nagamura just barged off the ball there.
Seeing our little soap opera continue with those two as well.
Two fellow Brazilians trying to gain the upper hand in that midfield. Marceline. A bit of space, trying to get away. Tidy work there from Knight. Just caught a little late, and the referee is going to reach for his book, or his pocket once again. Another yellow card.
Is that on Roger?
It is Espinoza. Just a little missed time. Wes Knight stays down.
Number 27, Roger Espinoza.
You're going to have a little bit of feistiness. You know, these are professionals. These are competitive guys. They're looking to just get back into this game, Sporting KC. But I think also, you know, there's all elements of the timing of the pass, timing of the shot, timing of the header as a keeper, and timing this, you know, timing the tackles. It's not always going to be the case. There's going to be a little bit of edge in there, but sometimes it's just mistiming at this pre-season.
And I think that has been Sporting's challenge in this game. Is the timing is just a little bit off on the passes, on the as you say, on the challenges.
It's nice to see. We see often pre-season friendlies, and we use that word friendlies, and normally they are. They're just almost like a glorified exhibition, a glorified training game. But this one is it's got a little edge.
Some bite to it, no doubt.
Dwyer runs into the wall, or turns into the wall. Is Burling, but he does well to win the throw-in.
Be interesting to see what Coach Vermees does at halftime, or if he makes any tactical adjustments to maybe either move to two forwards or get somebody further upfield to try to unlock those two central defenders. So right now we're just we have a lack of service. It's not getting it done.
It's going to roll out of play. It's offside, in fact. The linesman on this near side indicating. So Zach McMath will wander from his goal. Will clear this one downfield. It looks like the Rapids are playing. I'm trying to look at the formation now. It's almost a 4-2-4. Gabriel Torres has gone up top to join Don Badji. You can see there's just Pitanari and Marcelo Savas with the two in midfield. Badji does well, wins that one in the air. Helps it on, Sanchez. Back to Pitanari looking for Torres. That one was not quite to feet. Dwyer was just a little outnumbered on that occasion. Still running though. Badji back to goal. Nagamura finding Peterson. This near side just running into Sjoberg. And ball.
4-3-3 formation, if the wings backs aren't getting us forward as much as we need them to, we're going to struggle. And you've seen Kevin Ellis forward a few times. You've seen De Jong forward a couple times, but
is that the regular formation? Is that a formation that Peter enjoys?
it is, except for a brief foray. Oh,
Sanchez going for the chip. Saw Marine just off his line. I don't think he was off his line by that much, but Sandy Sanchez trying a bit of trickery.
except for the brief foray into a 3-5-2 last year, we exclusively play a 4-3-3 and have for many years. And at times it looks like a 4-5-1. You know, there's been some criticism of the formation because of that, but it is effective. If you get those wingbacks forward, it can be a beautiful and exciting style of soccer. But I think we're seeing tonight some of the limitations of the formation if those wingbacks aren't getting forward, and if we're not getting enough players filling in behind Dom. Dom's being asked to do a whole lot against some very physical central defenders.
And it's also down to personnel. You sometimes, as a coach, you try and mould and gel your team into the way that you want to play, or you adapt to the kind of type of player that you have. And if their strengths lead to a 4-5-1 or a 4-3-3, then that's the way you're going to head. But you can't argue with that 2013 Sporting Kansas City side, and it's still got plenty of weapons. It's pre-season. This is a side that has quality, absolutely, without doubt.
No doubt about it.
Ball over the top, a bit heavy there from Matt Beasler. What you can't see is in the distance aircraft coming into land. It looks like a military aircraft.
C-130 is what that is. There's Air Force Base nearby. You'll see C-130s and A-64 Apaches and all sorts of cool stuff flying around here in Tucson.
Bettinari, so Torres is offside. To the last 10 minutes. A reminder, if you're just joining us, goals for the Rapids scored after 12 minutes by Gabriel Torres. 17 minutes, Dom Badji doubling the lead for the Rapids, who've just played the one game up to now against MLS opposition. That was on Sunday against San Jose, losing by 2-0 in Las Vegas. Looking for the diagonal ball, looking for Peterson on this near side, who's comfortably cut out. Burling will look to feed the ball back to Zach McMath.
Change of scenery needed for Zach McMath, you think? Is that, you think it's going to work out well here?
Well, I tell you what, he's come in, he doesn't want to be a number 2. He does not
Sure.
want to be a number 2 goalkeeper. He's a young keeper in his 5th season.
Very highly regarded coming out of the draft, absolutely. Had many strong years for Philadelphia.
And I've spoken to him, and he sees this as a challenge. He sees this as a chance to prove a few people wrong, and that's exactly what you want as a player. You don't want them to slink and feel sorry for themselves. You want them to stand up and to try and prove their doubters wrong, and that is exactly what he's looking to do.
It's a great attitude.
He's got an eye on that first game against Philadelphia Union, March 7th, and it's quickly approaching for all teams. Bobby Burling.
Dom's going to feel like he's gone 10 rounds with a heavyweight he's done with this half.
But he's solid as well. He's not got the height, but he's absolutely solid, is Dom Dwyer.
There's no doubt.
Anibaba to Ellis. Looking to feed down the line again. It was at a time when Peterson just looked away and Ellis played the ball short. Peterson expecting the ball over the top, and Ellis looking for the ball to feet. So again, we just talk about that chemistry, that dynamic, that little understanding that is just not quite there at the moment. And it'll be intriguing to see the next game, second game in, and how things change. And obviously there'll be a different personnel second half. It is just about tinkering. And we'll discover a lot about tonight's performance, the first half performance. What works, what doesn't. And that's Celine into the last 5 minutes of this first half. The 2015 Desert Diamond Cup live from Tucson, Arizona. Drilled in by Peterson, cut out by the backside of Michael Harrington. Some defensive duties there from Ali Baba. Falls kindly to Ellis. Peterson just unable to keep the ball in on this near side, out of play. Back to Harrington, little ball over the top. And Sanchez and Ellis coming together. No malice. They tear themselves apart and continue on their way. Peterson, flick on him as far as Harrington, looks around him. A souvenir. He's going to have to give that back, I'm afraid.
$150, that could be better.
Yes. Very nice, though. Yeah, the training grounds, as you're looking to the right-hand side, so the training fields are. As you go left to right, it's Sporting Kansas City, then next to them Colorado Rapids, next to them New England Revolution. And the Rapids had just finished training yesterday. Everything had been cleared, the field had been cleared, all the poles and the bibs. There was a stray ball that I saw on the field. And as I took one step towards it, this voice from the other side from New England Revolution, I think that's ours. Very, and the fact that it had Rebs on the side, I was of course not going to take it anywhere, but yeah, when the ball's looking exactly the same, each team having about 40 of them.
Well, and the teams look exactly the same this year. Adidas has kitted them all out in this very lovely shade of light gray, but my goodness.
The training gears, yeah.
You can't tell them apart.
Nagamura looking for Dwyer, back to goal, nice footwork there, and a free kick, without doubt. So quick footwork from Dom Dwyer. He's back up on his feet. And they're all surging forward here into approaching the last minute of this first half, and approaching the last minute for most of these players, as there will be wholesale changes in the second half.
Intriguing that Hallisey's taking a lot of these set pieces. I have a lot of faith in the first-year player.
So just one man behind the ball, apart from Hallisey, and that's Ellis. Floats that one, ricochets kindly for the Rapids. I don't know about you, Greg, but when you've got a 6'7" and a 6'5" centre half, a little floated dink free kick is probably not what you're looking for. As you were saying, it needs to be delivered with pace, maybe drilled in, just to put the proverbial cat amongst the pigeons.
Absolutely,
That's
and
going to be picked off every day.
And we saw Hallisey do that from a set piece, a corner kick, in the about 20 minutes ago. I thought that was a good piece of strategy against these center backs, but yeah, that one left a little to be desired.
Corner kick. It's good work from Peterson over in the far corner.
Well, you do have good eyes.
I think it's a matter of deducing that he was no longer on this near side. Sometimes get ahead of themselves on those ones. This one is drilled in, looking for the edge of the penalty area.
Much better.
Looking for Nagamura, not cleared fully. McMath will just watch that one wander wide, but yeah, absolutely delivered with pace. Stinging ball in, and that is the best delivery as the half-time whistle blows here at the Keno North Stadium. 2 goals for the Colorado Rapids, separating these two sides. Gabriel Torres on 12 minutes, Dom Badji after 17 minutes. Let's say wholesale changes, 2 almost completely different 11s in the second half. At half-time, Colorado Rapids 2, Sporting Kansas City 0. Gosh. Been talking, that's the thing. Every chance I get. My wife and 3 kids. Claudio.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to direct your attention to the front of the grandstand.
Okay.
Keep your eyes open and your hands ready, because some mini soccer balls are going to be coming your way. Compliments of Carf International. So get ready to catch those mini soccer balls. You have choices in researching and selecting your healthcare services. Look for Carf accreditation with the parents provider. Carf accreditation is earned by providers that show commitment to service quality and a focus on the satisfaction of the people they serve. To find Carf accredited providers, visit us online at carf.org. That's Carf International.
Disregard everything that was just said.
Let's make some noise for Carf International. Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Come in and try Culver's Butterburger. Butterburgers are made with 100% U.S. beef on a hot grill to lock in the flavor and served up on a lightly buttered toasted bun. Welcome to Delicious.
Someone did that. You don't have to.
We'd like to remind you that the 2015 Desert Diamond Cup was brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos and Entertainment, Southern Arizona's entertainment destination. Coming live to the Diamond Center are comedian Angela Johnson on March 7th and award-winning multi-platinum country star Tracy Lawrence March 28th. Visit us at ddcac.com for more information.
We are back underway here at the Keno North Stadium. We have 15 minutes for the half-time break. Maybe the two sides have got other things to do. Got a restaurant booking or something, but we only had the 10 minutes as opposed to 15. So a few seconds, 55, 56 seconds into the second half. And
I guess when you have wholesale changes in your lineup, you don't need a rest all that long.
no. And they will be ready to go. The Rapids leading by 2-0. Another 45 minutes. And two very different sides. We will run through them as soon as we confirm. We were told earlier what the changes would be. We'll just have a little look across the back line to make sure that that is the case. As we just break for a second, Namath, who's one of the changes, who is a man in form at the moment. A second half hat-trick against FC Tucson in Sporting KC's last pre-season game. 2 pre-season matches to date. Portland Timbers at the end of January, FC Tucson. And they return back to Kansas City and then back out here again. It's a corner kick at the start of this second half. That's going to cause some problems at that near post. It's not fully cleared, and that's straight back into the danger and just wide. The acrobatics there. I think it was Nieskins that put it back into trouble. And I'm trying to see who it was that just put it wide.
I think it was Namath. I think it was the Hungarian that Peter first saw when he was playing for Liverpool when he was 18, 19 years old. He's been trying to sign him for the past 7, 8 years. And he's a player that the players are very high on, or in the coaching staff is very high on right now.
26 years of age now. That's Christian Namath. Sporting Kansas City started with a bit more purpose this second half. I'll run through the changes. In goal for Sporting KC, Tim Melia along the back line. As we just take a little break. Charging down that right-hand side is Feilhaber, and that'll be a goal kick. Along the back line is Amadou Dia, Ike Opara, Eric Palmer-Brown and Seth Sinovic. Midfield of Feilhaber, Carrasco, Madranda, up top Rogers, Namath and Anor. In fact, it's another corner kick to Sporting KC. This one's a little different, but a top spin on that one. Evasive measures there from Zach McMath, who is still in between the sticks. So we're told he's going to get an hour. He's going to get an hour, and John Burnett will get 30 minutes. We've got 2 very special guests alongside us. One is just waiting. Chance Myers is alongside. We'll chat to him shortly. This is a very different approach this second half. Chance, have you been down there? Did you get a word of maybe what was explained to the guys at halftime?
I didn't hear any of the halftime speeches, but I watched the first half, so I know a little bit about what we need to do. We just weren't aggressive. We weren't confident going forward. We could take a little bit more chances and try to create something. We didn't really create much going down in the first half.
How much of that, you talk about aggression, is some of that confidence? Is it just chemistry? Is it the dynamism that sometimes teams lack at this time of pre-season?
It's pre-season. You know, we've been together for 2.5 weeks, so we're still getting our bearings, playing a couple new faces. So we're just working on things, working on relationships out there on the field.
Tucson Electric Power is keeping you
It comes
informed at home
with time.
and on the go. With your smartphone, tablet, or computer, visit the outage center and tap on
It's always good to know you need
For
to
live
work on
updates,
things. You know, if you're playing
power
fresh right now,
outages, power's out,
you know,
conditions.
athletes are wondering, you know, what else can you work on. It's good. There's a lot of things we need to do better.
And McMath, there's a chance here, and it's ricocheted wide. I think that's come off Jared Watts last, and that's going to go out for another corner kick. It is much more aggressive, much more exciting and dynamic at the start of this second half. What's the situation with you? I know 2014 is maybe a year you'll want to forget. What about 2015? What can we expect?
Let's forget that one. Scratch it. No, I mean, I'm coming back, from a pretty big, serious injury. Taking my time, making sure everything's right with my body. Not just Achilles, but it's feeling good. I'm back out on the field, doing some things on the side, doing some fitness, getting fit, but finally getting integrated into some of the trainings, some of the tactical stuff, and it's exciting to get back on the field. That's for sure.
I've spoken to a lot of players, and this year, maybe of all years, of those players that have been in Major League Soccer a while, is the one that they don't want to miss out on. This is an exciting time to be involved in MLS.
Yeah, it's very exciting. The league's growing exponentially the last few years, and it's fun. It's fun to be a part of. It's fun to watch the league grow and be a part of it and be able to play in it. And a lot of new faces coming, a lot of big names coming, like Kaká and guys in New York, David Villa, and it's exciting. New teams. It's not stopping. I don't see it stopping for the foreseeable future.
Well, Chance is a player down. I'm trying to see who it is. It is Seth Sinovic is down on this near side. It looked like he got a real clatter. Peter Vermees was concerned, and I imagine Greg's still with us. I imagine maybe we can't hear you, but on those occasions you would want in a pre-season friendly, you would just want the referee to stop the game. A player was down on this near side. You might not see that in a regular season game. Play might continue, but players down. We need to make sure that he's okay. So let's. I think Seth is back up on his feet. He is, and he's back out there in the middle. I'll run through the Rapid side for you. I've not given you that for this second half. Zach McMath is still in goal. Up until about the hour mark, I think we're expecting. There's a back four of Francisco Flores, who's a trialist, Shane O'Neill, Jared Watson, Mark Birch. That's through onside. McMath, though, anticipating in the midfield, the holding two, Sam Cronin and Ben Newnham, who is from Charlotte Independence, the affiliate club of the Rapids. Dylan Cerner, Dylan Powers, Oscar Montoya are the three, and Deshaun Brown is the man up top. We're also told that Caleb Calvert is due to see some time in this second half as well.
The thing that stands out for me, Richard, right from the very beginning has been Benny Feilhaber on this left-hand side in particular. When he's been on the ball 3 or 4 times now, he's looked dangerous, chipping the ball in, being aggressive, going forward and bringing players like Namath into the play, which we didn't necessarily see in the first half.
Space down that left-hand side wouldn't quite come down. In fact, I think that's it is. It's Nieskin, so it's not Montoya down that left. So maybe Nieskins and Montoya are going to see some time in this second half. So how far away are you then, Chance?
There's no real timetable right now. We're taking it day by day kind of thing. I have some good days, and then sometimes it flares up and need a couple days of rest, but we're pushing the limits. I'd like to be there at the start of the season. I just don't think I'll be fully fit enough. So, we'll play it by ear, and hopefully sometime before April.
Well, we wish you well and a speedy return for Sporting KC, because there really is no let-up. It's straight into it for Sporting KC and all of these sides as well. Some months 3 games, 4 games, some months there are 6 games, and it is getting to a stage now, and I imagine you've seen the development of Major League Soccer. There's much more of a need now for depth. Sides need depth now.
Absolutely. You need to build your roster from top to bottom. You can't have a drop-off on any position. Peter's awesome at that. He knows there's going to be injuries, there's going to be fatigue, there's going to be reasons why you need 2 and 3 guys at a single position, and he does a really good job of building this roster.
Speaking of that, how great is it to see Iko Parra back there, Chance?
It's amazing. I haven't seen him hit a long ball in 8 months, so placing him on a platter. No, it's good to see him back. He's worked really hard. He's had some struggles coming back, some setbacks and whatnot, so I'm sure he's pretty excited to be out there.
Francisco Flores has just gone into the book for the Rapids. Baldomero Toledo charging over, issuing another yellow card. A bright start to the second half for Sporting KC. Just a little over 10 minutes gone. And Tim Melia in goal, arriving from Chivas. He was a pool goalkeeper towards the end of 2014. Have gloves, will travel. Just shaking that one off quite comfortably. Oh, just a slip at the wrong moment there.
Great ball
Cronin.
from Benny.
But it's much crisper, much slicker in the second half. Hilheimer again. Just a lovely weighted pass to that right-hand side. Desperate measures trying to clear the lines, the Rapids.
Very different than what we saw from the first half. As we were talking about the outside wingbacks getting forward, as you can say, they're playing a much higher line. I don't know whether that's by design in this half or whether it's just the opportunities are presenting themselves, but it's changed the dynamic of the game so far.
When we look at that back line, you talk about Ike Opara, but Palmer Brown, should I say, at 17? How good can he be?
There's no limit, man. He's going to be a good player. I think being with us for the last year, he's grown tremendously. He's super mature, and I think that goes a long way. He's a sponge too. He gets better every day at practice. He's already bigger than all of us, so who knows how big he'll get.
Homegrown player, youngest signing in Sporting KC history, just 17, and that's as we see this ball floated through the middle, giving chase. It's such a responsible, such a key position. You need to have that maturity and that confidence to play as a central defender.
Yeah, extremely confident on the ball. He's really good on the ball. That's key for any team, but he doesn't mind having the ball at his feet, bringing it out of the back. He has some good players to learn from with Ike and Bees.
Well, Charles, thank you very much for your time. I think we have got another guest as well. It was loitering at the back. We will swap things around. In the meantime, just to remind you that it's approaching the hour mark here. Zach McMath with the goal kick for the Rapids. Colorado Rapids still leading by 2-0. Sporting KC, though, have had some good chances in the opening 15 minutes of this second half. Mr. Graham Zusi joins us.
How are we doing?
Very good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Where are you on the fitness, the pre-season, the preparation, the 2015?
I'm a bit further ahead than Chance is. I actually think I might get some minutes in the game on Saturday, so looking to get back into things. Like Chance, I'm getting that base fitness back up, and I mean, it's just been so exciting to be back on the field with the guys the past few days.
So Sean Brown looking to try and tidy things up as a drive from distance. Tim Melia doing well to get his body behind that. How much have you had to be reined in? How much is, because I imagine now, an experienced player, you know what your body's saying, you know, but how much of you is desperate to get out there, and how much of the training staff saying, whoa, just take it easy?
They've had to tell me to be patient a few times. You know, I want to push my body as far as I can, but you know, we still have a bit of time before the season, and we have to be smart about it. So you know, they've had to pull me aside a couple times when I want to train and tell me that, you know, I need a day off here and there. But yeah, we're on the same page for the most part, and you know, I'm just itching to get out there.
How do you top 2014 for you as a World Cup? I mean, you're coming off the back of an MLS Cup in 2013, then a World Cup in 2014. How do things get better for Graham Zusi?
Well, I think you know, as much excitement there was on the international level for us, you know, we got away from what we were as a club this year, and I think it's going to be an exciting season for us. We've added some great players. brought some players back, and Roger, who we missed him for a couple years, and we've got our hunger back. I think we lost a little bit of that as well. So we're looking to up the ante a bit this season and get back to the winning ways. You know,
And Gold Cup this year, Gold Cup, of course.
Gold Cup is a we have another big tournament with the national team, and unfortunately I missed out on the last Gold Cup, but something that I'd love to be a part of this year.
What about back in the West? I was talking to Greg earlier about that. The fact that you guys are back in the West, playing Seattle more often, playing Portland more often, playing LA more often. You've obviously got to face the Rapids 3 times. Is that a greater challenge, or is Major League Soccer now a challenge, whichever conference you're in?
Well, it's a challenge, really, whatever conference you're in. There's so much parity in this league. Any team can beat another one on any given day, but I'm excited about the new challenge of being in a different conference. A little bit different style of play, I'd say, in the West, but one that I think that we're going to fit right in with.
And the travel?
Being in the middle of the country, travel hasn't really ever been a huge issue for us. We don't have any 6-hour flights like some of the other teams, so really for us, I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue.
And playing in the West, and is there one of those teams over all of the others that you fancy coming up against, just to see where you are over a sustained period of time?
Yeah, I'm excited about building some of those rivalries. I think we've got a little bit of one with Salt Lake at the moment. That one's always a bit more fun for me because my brother lives out in Salt Lake, so he's a bit split. I'd hope he'd favor us a little bit, but it's always fun when we beat him or them out in Salt Lake.
Well, there was a time where the Rapids and Sporting KC had a rivalry when they were in the West, and I think historically this was the first ever game for both of these sides, as they were Kansas City Wizards and Colorado Rapids, the first ever game in their Major League Soccer history back in 1996. So these two sides coming back together. I know that the Rapids are very excited at renewing the rivalry. What about the makeup of this Sporting Kansas City side? How would it compare personnel, the players that have come back, the younger players that are maturing? How does it compare? And sometimes it is a little unfair. How does this compare to 2013? And you can duck that question if you want.
Well, I think we've got a great core group of guys who are returning. Those guys have the job of taking some of these new and younger guys under their wing and really showing them what kind of a mentality you need to have to succeed.
Sam Cronin, sorry, Graham. Sam Cronin goes in the book there, just to bring you up to date. There's been no addition to the score. Still 2-0 Colorado Rapids. It's just it's eased into a bit of a pattern this second half. There was a real surge at the start of the second period for Sporting KC. Cronin goes into the book, as he did against San Jose Earthquakes, his former club, on Sunday. Sean Brown steals that one away from Palmer Brown. Powers turning one way, then the other. He's overcooked that one. So what do you look at? Have you set yourself, if you do see some minutes at the weekend, have you set yourself, or are you going to have to listen to the body over the next few days?
Well, I think the plan is to get 15, 20, possibly 30 minutes if it's feeling good on Saturday. So looking forward to that.
Shane O'Neill, one of two players on the Rapid side, just come back from the national team camp. And there was the other, Dylan Cerner. Powers putting Palmer Brown under a bit of pressure. Palmer Brown, though, scampering back and does well. Unfortunately, I think he's given away a free kick on this near side. Graham Zusi alongside me. Chance Myers, we've spoken to Chance as well. into the last 25 minutes of this contest. The first game of the 2015 Desert Diamond Cup. FC Tucson and Seattle Sounders to come. Real Salt Lake and New England Revolution also playing. They are playing at the moment. The 6 sides involved in what is the 4th year of the Desert Diamond Cup. Started out as the Desert Cup back in 2011. Sporting KC previous winners, along with Chicago, Seattle and LA Galaxy. Moving the ball quickly, some work for Shane O'Neill to do here, and Namath couldn't quite get there, but some follow-up here, and again O'Neill stretching, putting that one out of play over on the far side. Darkness now surrounding the Keno Sports Complex. What do you see in this side? What do you see in from the first 45 to the second? Not just personnel, but is there more chemistry? We talk about that word, the dynamism, timing.
Well, you know, looking at the first half, I think we had quite a bit of possession, but it wasn't too purposeful. We had it in our half of the field for extended periods of time, and I think when we have that possession, it'll be better for us if it's, you know, in the attacking third rather than the defensive third. I think that's what you're seeing with this group in the second half. You know, Benny's been getting on the ball quite a bit and breaking the lines and putting the ball in behind their defense, which has led to more chances. And I think that's been the biggest difference between the first and second half.
Peter Vermees was at a function last night, the coaches and some of the players. That's offside against Namath. Play allowed to continue. Jaron Watts bringing the ball away. Flores on this near side infield to Cerner. And Matt Beasley was there, and he was asked a question. He was a Q&A. There were members of the public there, and he was asked about his World Cup year 2014 and what Peter Vermees had said to him. And he actually said, look, you know, he won't, I don't like saying this, but Peter pushes me and pushes me and pushes me. He's very demanding, but he wants the best, and he wants to push. And you know, Peter Vermees was like that as a player. He was very strong. He was that's a great rasping shot there, just wide of the mark on that left-hand side.
Bernardo Honor
just moving away from goal. Great character, Peter Vermees, and the other coach on the other side, Pablo Mastroeni. Two similar kind of players, gritty, determined winners. And we see more and more of them. Those former MLS players now coming through, taking to coaching. And that is fantastic to see. The next generation that are coming through. Of course, Major League Soccer went through a period of bringing in the foreign coaches, but now it's a case of
another great ball.
Players coming in, former players. So waiting for numbers now. Namath just holding the ball up, finding some space. In fact, quick feet, try and get the shot away. And it's just hit the side of the stanchion and just wide of the mark. For a moment, I'm thinking he's going to have to wait for the cavalry to arrive, but he's got the confidence, Greg. He's got the confidence to go it alone. He knows where the goal is.
He does, but you know, play unlocked again by a beautiful ball from Benny Feilhaber out of the back, playing a little deeper than he has, but sprung Namath forward there and was able to do the rest on his own. Unfortunate to hit the side netting.
Pulling the strings in midfield is Benny Feilhaber. Sean Brown just gets enough on that back to Powers. Crowded out. It's much more of a unified performance this second half. There's certainly a stronger display from Sporting Kansas City. Those 2 goals in the space of 5 minutes in the first half. Torres on 12 minutes, Badji after 17. Zach McMath is still in goal. We were told he was going to get 60 minutes. Maybe John Berner will get the last 15. Just looking at the bench to see if there's any activity. John Berner has got his top jersey off, wearing number 12. We can just see that down in front of us. The Sporting KC come forward once again. Namath back to goal. Stayed on side. The return was put in place. I think he was just rocking on his heels. Didn't quite have that forward momentum, but this is much better. Moving the ball a lot quicker. And we were talking during the interval, Greg, he's you start to move those pieces around, a Dom Dwyer, a Christian, name it, that's a very exciting forward prop. You start to then filter out from there and the little veins that come out from that.
Yeah, absolutely. It remains to be seen what Lehman's best position will be for us. But I think he's definitely one for this year, and hopefully for many years to come. Peter is very high on him. He's, as you've seen over the past couple of games, he is a natural finisher, and hopefully will have a big year up top with Dom.
Roda GC in the Dutch league. The Hungarian.
Nice bit of skill there from Dylan Powers.
Cerner missing out to Feilhaber. And Sinovic will wander across. In fact, no, he's going to take the free kick. I thought he was going to leave it for the keep. No, he is. Second guessing there. Amelia coming from his goal. And we say goodbye to Graham Zusi and Chance Myers. Thanks to the guys for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
And all the best for you going forward. Fingers crossed for the two of them. And as Graham said there, may see some minutes on Saturday when Sporting KC are up against Seattle Sounders. It's a 9 p.m. Central Time. The Rapids play 5:30 Mountain Time against New England Revolution. And that is on this very field on Saturday afternoon, early evening.
Must have been music to Sporting Kansas City fans' ears to hear that Graham's going to get 30 minutes on Saturday. It certainly was to me.
Was that just breaking news? Was he telling us something we didn't know?
I believe so, yes.
Wow. Well, there you go.
It's great to see Ike back. I can't wait for a chance to get back in the lineup again. Overestimate the importance that Chance Myers has been for this team for the past 3-4 years.
Desert Diamond Casinos and Entertainment is proud to sponsor the 2015
not only
FC Tucson
performer on the
Desert
field,
Diamond
but
Cup.
ambassador
Just
for us off the
15
field.
minutes
It's
away,
tremendous,
Desert Diamond
tremendous
Casino
individual.
Hotel
They are worth their
offers
weight in
exciting
gold.
games.
We've got one of
Bring
those at the
food,
Rapids, Drew
first-class
Moore, who we are
hotel
looking
Join
to get
the
back.
Diamond Rewards Club today to enjoy free
Central
play, special
defender,
promotions.
6 months yesterday,
Experience
suffered the
possibilities.
ACL injury at DC United.
To become a Diamond Rewards member today.
He's been a great performer in Major League Soccer.
That was a good recovery there after missing the first header. Very good recovery. That's Amadou Dia. Well read by Shane O'Neill. But I know what you're saying, Greg. You start talking about players that are close to coming back, coupled with the players that you already have. Deshaun Brown on the angle. And you start to think, well, what if, if that player comes back, and when that player comes back, and all of a sudden this jigsaw, because everybody's starting from zero. Everybody at the start of the season, you don't fully know. And exactly what we were saying earlier, these kinds of tournaments give you an idea. You can size yourself up against the opposition, but still, you're not fully up to speed on what every side has done during the off-season.
And quite frankly, where the holes are in your roster and where you have depth issues. And, as the preseason goes along, and then even in the first couple of weeks of the season, we have such a we have such a long window. We can bring in players into Major League Soccer until mid-May from other markets. And so if you start to recognize that you have a depth problem at this stage of the season, it's all is not lost. You can make moves. You can bring in players.
No, I think this can have to be a red card. Flores,
Yep,
Flores has already seen yellow. I was about to say, Francisco Flores kicked the ball away. He was already on a yellow card, and referee Baldomero Toledo, as Jaime Marufo, has gone to his pocket, and he's shown the red. Peter Vermees, to be fair, who stood there scratching his head as if to say, "Ref, it's a pre-season friendly." The player should have known, and a penalty kick to Sporting Kansas City.
Jimmy Madranda drew the penalty.
A yellow card shown to Shane O'Neill. seconds after going down to 10 men. Sporting Kansas City have a chance to get back within 1. And Shane O'Neill is still remonstrating with the referee. Well, Flores, a little silly to kick the ball away, knowing that he was on a yellow. Sometimes, as a player, you don't want to give the referee a decision to make, and I think that was one of those occasions.
Jimmy Madranda, a player that coaching staff is very high on from Columbia, still a very young player. One for the future, but also will be a contributor this year, probably even more than last year.
Christian Nemeth then with the penalty kick, right-footed, and he slots it the right way. The keeper goes the right way, but it is now 2-1 to the Colorado Rapids. 77 minutes gone, and Nemeth has reduced the arrears.
And I don't think you would say that would flatter them. Sporting has had the majority of the possession this half. Looked like in many ways, a completely different team, and you see the difference that probably a halftime hairdryer session from Peter Vermees had on the players. They're playing, they're competing, and these are players that are starting not only competing for a position on the roster, but for a starting place.
Well, the Rapids down to 10 men. They've made a substitution. It's Grant van der Castile coming on for Shane O'Neill. But in the last 13 minutes, Sporting KC are going to be knocking on the door. It's Deshaun Brown, though, in possession.
Now, you mentioned the second yellow card in a friendly match and the kind of exasperation potentially that the managers would have around that. It's reminded me of the time that the Kansas City Wizards played Manchester United in 2010 at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where Jimmy Conrad drew a red card, and we had to play 11 versus 10 against arguably the biggest club in the world. We ended up beating them unbelievably, but it was
Grant van der Castile just ducking under that. It's not fully cleared. Here's a real chance here. Toe poking, and there is the second for Sporting KC.
Honor again.
Bernardo Honor has made it 2-2 within 90 seconds of getting the first. Sporting KC have got the second, and it's all square with 12 minutes to go.
Honor's looked very lively down this left-hand side. His left side has been very strong for Sporting Kansas City going forward. Honor had that very strong shot that was just wide of the keeper's right post about 15 minutes ago, and follows up there with a nice toe poke.
It was interesting to see Peter Vermees was exasperated at that sending off. I imagine as a coach, this is all about seeing how your team is set up for pre-season, and you're looking to have a level on the field. We did note the two coaches did speak to the match officials during at the end of the first half. We don't know what that conversation was. It could have been that they only wanted 10 minutes for the break, because that's all we got.
Yeah, I bet that was it.
But there were also quite a number of yellow cards shown in that first half, and you're going to get a little edge. And sometimes you just need, as a referee, just to say, calm it down, this is a friendly. I don't want to have to show you a yellow card, but I will if you do it again. Although I was reading earlier that the Professional Referees Organisation are looking to stamp out persistent infringement and dissent this year. That's one of the things that they are going to be chasing and clamping down on. We saw some dissent from Shane O'Neill when the penalty was given, and he was shown a yellow card.
Very calm for Michael Parra there.
It's now Sporting Kansas City with the upper hand at 2-2. They've got their tails up, having been 2-0 down. Silovic was screaming for it on this near side. He was racing down the left-hand side. Now having to and there he goes, looking for that searching ball.
And again, look how forward the wingbacks are. Mistanovic's the furthest forward player.
Floated ball cut out by van der Castile. Some work to do here for the Rapids to take a share of the spoils. It looked so comfortable at half-time. Cronin, slide rule pass, and a free kick. And the referee looked to see if advantage was going to be played. At least it's not the heat of the day. It's not a strength-sapping heat out there. It's quite a cool evening. The flag's just fluttering a little bit over to our left-hand side. A little breeze out there, which will be nice for the players.
It's a nice crowd here for a Wednesday night as well.
The game next on this field is Seattle Sounders against FC Tucson. I imagine there's a few gathering for that one. There's a 5:30 start was the local time for the Rapids against Sporting KC. I imagine a few people just getting in from work. A reminder, the Rapids open at home against NYCFC on March 21st. ColoradoRapids.com for tickets to that one. David Villa in town. Sporting KC open at home against the Red Bulls. That's on March 8th. I know you've got some events coming up as well, Greg, in the first week of March.
We do. Well, we actually have one, Live KC, which is a branch of Sporting Kansas City, is putting on its Midnight Underground Circus, and it's this Friday, and you can go to livekc.org to purchase tickets to that if there's any left. It's basically it's a big old party, and it's 3,500 people can fit in the basement of Memorial Hall in Kansas City, and I think about 3,000 tickets have already been sold.
Wow.
And it is going to be a party. So if you don't have your ticket, I would get one. Livekc.org to get those, and then the kit launch party will be on March 4th, and we're selling tickets to that as well, and those are $10, but you get a $10 merchandise voucher. So encourage everyone to purchase tickets to the kit launch party on March 4th.
Any hints as to the kit, or is that absolutely under wraps?
Well, it was under wraps, and then we had a little bit of a, as often happens, there is a leak of some kind. But at the end of the day, it's a remarkably cool kit, and I think everybody's going to be very happy with the result. John Monka, who's our director of merchandising, our vice president of merchandising, does a wonderful job in making sure that the evolution of our kits are always very fashion forward, and I think these will be no different.
Well, the Rapids have their jersey launch in the same week. And it's their second jersey, the blue.
Oh, right.
Of the last two seasons. They'll stay with the burgundy as their first choice, but there is a new second choice strip that is coming out. And as far as I know, there has not yet been a leak on that one. So that is still under wraps, so I'm sworn to secrecy on that one.
Good play down the right side by James Rogers, a young player that's had an opportunity to show his particular significant pace on that right side. Hasn't had an opportunity to do a whole lot with the ball once he gets it, but he's working hard and putting in a good show for Coach Vermees.
Out of the University of New Mexico.
Correct.
53rd overall, selected this year in the Super Draft.
Heard Zoran Savic talking about him in the locker room, and he thinks the kid has a very bright future.
It's been a different second half for a number of reasons. I think looking defensively from the Rapids standpoint, those two rocks that were there, Bobby Burling.
Nice play by Honora.
Oh, it's a real tricky one there. That's some good work from McMath. I think just did all he could do. And then the breakaway at the other end, and that's going to be tidied up comfortably so.
Great recovery speed there with Amadou Dia, a young player that we drafted in the first round. Goes by T for reasons that were just recently explained to me that I've now forgotten. Signed a contract today, as a matter of fact, so congratulations to that young man.
Give him an additional spring in his step. Wonderful facilities here at the Kino Sports Complex. Just some more quick footwork there from Dylan Cerner. As Oscar Montoya was caught in possession a little bit. Cerner put on his backside.
I didn't hear a whistle.
Into the last 5 minutes. 2-2. The Rapids taking the lead through Gabriel Torres. 12 minutes. Dom Badji on 17. 2 rapid-fire goals for Sporting Kansas City on 77 from the penalty spot and 78. That was just moments after Francisco Flores was shown a second yellow and sent off for the Rapids. They played for the last 9 minutes with 10 men. And the possession has been in favour. The lion's share with Sporting Kansas City. Ben Newnham scampering across. Sporting KC looking to hurry to get the ball back in play. They're pushing for the winner, there's no doubt about that. Spreading the play. It's the vision of Feilhaber.
He really has been a difference maker in this half. There's no doubt. He's
pulling the strings, I think they say.
He's pulling the strings, but he's doing it from more of a deeply set playmaker position than maybe we're used to seeing him.
That's it. Testing one. I think at this stage the Rapids would settle for 2-2. Regroup and do it all again on Saturday against New England Revolution. That's a 5:30 local time, 5:30 Mountain Time. It's again on ColoradoRapids.com and MLSsoccer.com. SportingKC.com will have their game. It'll be a 9 p.m. Central Time on Saturday against Seattle Sounders, and then they wrap up the round-robin matches a week today. The Rapids against FC Tucson, Sporting KC against Real Salt Lake. That's another 9 p.m. Central Time. Then what happens is all the points are added up, and a week on Saturday the 28th it'll be 5th and 6th playoff, 3rd and 4th, and then the championship game will be the finale on Saturday evening. And a week away from the opening weekend of the regular season. Deshaun Brown back to goal, finds Cronin, got the captain's armband in the second half. Marcelo Savas had it in the first half. Cerner, Cronin in some space. Back to Cronin. Newnham on this near side, making himself available. I think the Rapids happy just to try and run down the clock into the last 90 seconds. Another game to follow on MLSsoccer.com. Seattle Sounders against FC Tucson. Given away by Zach Mamath. Sinovic cushioned that one nicely. Just trying to push and probe and find a way through. You can see the burgundy jerseys are sitting deep. Only, well, in fact, everybody behind the ball. All 10 Rapids players behind the ball now. Into the last minute. Ball over the top.
Sinovic getting forward again.
There will be reaction on both SportingKC.com and ColoradoRapids.com. Pulled back nicely. Just couldn't quite squeeze it through all of the body. Zach McMath was there, gratefully grabbing that one down low.
Great combo play there between Honor and Seth Sinovic. Great recognition from players that haven't played together very often.
It's been a, as they say, the old cliche game of two halves, two different sides, of course, for both sides. Sporting KC coming out with greater purpose in the second half. As we hit the 90-minute mark, the referee. And there goes the final whistle here at Keno North Stadium. The story of the game, 2 goals in the first half for the Rapids. Gabriel Torres on 12 minutes, Dom Badji on 17. Two sides changing for the second half. A sending off for the Rapids. Penalty for Sporting KC, put away by Christian Nemeth, his 4th of pre-season. And then Bernardo Honor on 78 minutes within 90 seconds of that first. The second followed 2-2 the final score. Another game to come on MLSsoccer.com. Seattle Sounders against FC Tucson. These two sides in action again at the weekend against New England Revolution and Seattle Sounders respectively. The Rapids against the Revolution, Sporting Kansas City against Seattle Sounders. My name is Richard Fleming. I'll be back later for Seattle against FC Tucson. To Greg Cotton, thank you very much for your company. All the best to Sporting KC this season. But for now, it's goodbye.
I just switched it out. Okay. Let me get, yeah. Do you need another card or you should be okay? That should be fine. Okay.
Yeah.